There's so much about my job that I love that it's hard to sort of really put it together in a few words. But I grew up always loving the fashion industry. And so in my career, I've always made sure that what I do is tied to the creativity of this industry. And that inspires me every day. What I love about my job specifically is that I still get to work very closely with some of the best American designers and really learn from them, feel inspired by them, and be connected to an industry that I just absolutely love and always wanted to be a part of. I started my career in the fashion industry in the mid-1990s. So much has changed since. Obviously, at the time when I started my career, there was no social media. I remember working for a magazine and we had one computer with internet access for the entire staff. And so I think the whole process of doing work has changed. That's on a micro level. On a macro level, I think the industry has been more driven by brands versus young designers. I think it is more difficult now to build a brand because the retail landscape has changed so much. Specifically in America, where I think so much of the business was based around department stores, that I've seen shift immensely. And so it is almost more challenging perhaps for a young aspiring designer to leave their mark and build a business quickly because you have to take so much more into account than you did before. The rapid outbreak of the COVID pandemic has really impacted our industry in severe ways. And I think on a very general level, every designer, every retailer, every editor, every buyer had to be able to pivot very quickly and pivot on a frequent basis. You couldn't settle into a comfort zone because you were just hit with new challenges on a consistent basis. Having said that, I think that for everyone in the industry, we had to learn very quickly to be completely digital savvy, to get to our consumers, to get to our partners, to get to our, creative outlets through different digital channels and feel comfortable doing that. In some ways, I think, and we've certainly said this before COVID, the fashion industry, which is so led by trends and so forward thinking, in some ways was always lagged behind when it came to digital innovation. And so I think this kind of pushed us into the future of our industry by force, which is not a bad thing. If I could create a magic wand to help our industry be better, it would probably be, this is a very, very difficult question that I'm going to have to think about for 1 second. But if I could create a digital wand to help improve business in the fashion industry, it would probably still be something that's very traditional, which is to perfect the idea of fit. I think that at the end of the day, we tend to be very focused on design, which is very important. But I strongly and firmly believe that if the fit is not right, the consumer is not going to come back to you. And if there was some way to just go like this and create the perfect fit for the consumer, I think it could solve a lot of business problems and deliveries, of course, that should be on time. But it's a very traditional way of thinking, but I do think that at the end of the day, we all look at fashion for solutions. We want our clothes to make us look better, to hide some of our insecurities, to make us feel better about ourselves, to make us love ourselves. And so I think that fit is a big thing. It's like a magic wand. If I was in a store and I said, I'm looking for a pair of trousers that make my legs look longer than they are, and they could just go like this, here you go, and here they are, I'd be coming back for more every day of the week. I'd be buying more trousers. If I had to give myself a tip, my younger self, it would be something that's not specific to the fashion industry, but it's specific to just, I think, careers in general, which is everything will fall into place in your 30s. Don't become impatient in your 20s. Just know that when I was in my early 20s, I graduated from college and I just started feeling so restless because things didn't happen fast enough. And I thought that my career was not heading anywhere. And I thought that my life, I had so many questions about life in general. And something happened in my 30s where all of a sudden I knew I was going to be all right and things were going to be fine. And granted, I was very blessed with a beautiful career and I had all my dreams come true. But had I not persevered and had I not, had really the luxury of being able to persevere, I probably would not have gone as far as I did.
Yeah.
Because there are so many questions and insecurities, and that's just part of being young.